Something to look for when factoring is to take out the GCF. In fact, you should look for this first thing. And this is especially used when there's a number next to x squared. So remember when there was a number not next to x squared, we jumped right into the steps of simple factoring. But in this case, in all of these examples, there is a number next to x squared. So we definitely want to look for a GCF to take out before continuing on. So here are the steps to take out a GCF and how to do it, and we're going to do these through the examples. So step 1 says look for a multiple that all terms have in common. So in this case I have 1, 2, 3 terms. I know they're terms because they're separated by plus and minuses. So I want to look for a multiple all of them have in common. So is there a number that I can divide each of these even by that is the same? And indeed there is. 2x squared can be divided by 2, 10x can be divided by 2, and 8 can be divided by 2. So 2 is, in fact, my GCF. So I'm going to write that term. When I say that term, I mean 2. And then I'm going to write parentheses. Then it says, divide each term by the GCF that you took out and put the results in the parentheses. So this means I'm going to divide this by 2, this by 2, and this by 2. 2x squared divided by 2 leaves me with an x squared. 10x divided by 2 leaves me with a 5x. And 8 divided by 2 leaves me with a 4. Then going on from there, I can continue factoring by simple factoring or magic dot if possible. So I know that this is simple factoring because there's not a number next to x squared anymore because I took it out here. So I'm going to continue on with simple factoring, just dragging this 2 that I took out the whole time. So simple factoring, remember the steps were parentheses, parentheses, x and x, and I need to find the factors of 4, so things that multiply to 4 that give me 5. Well, numbers that multiply to 4 that give me 5 could be 1 and 4. 1 times 4 is 4, and a 1 plus 4 equals 5. So that's a positive 1 and a positive 4, and voila, completed. So let's try this 2 more times. I'm going to look at 3x cubed minus 4x squared minus 4x and look for a multiple that all terms have. Note in this parenthesis I said it could be a number or a variable, because if 3, 4, and 4 are my numbers, there's not a number that they're all divisible by, but they all have x in common. So that means x is the term that in step 2 I'm going to write out, and then I'm going to put parentheses. Step 3 says divide everything by x. Doot, doot, doot. All right, so 3x squared divided by, or 3x cubed divided by x leaves me with a 3. And if we follow exponent rules, 3 minus 1 is 2. Next one, I'm left with a negative 4. So this is x squared divided by x. That leaves me with 1x. And in the last case, I'm left with no x's. Now at this point, it says continue factoring by simple factoring or magic dot if possible. So there is a number next to x squared. So I cannot do simple factoring. So I'm going to do the magic dot method, which I refer to in the next video. All right, lastly, let's check out this next one. I have a 4x squared minus a 16. Now there's not 3 terms here, but that's okay because I didn't specify that I needed 3 terms. I said we just need to look for a multiple that all terms have in common. So this is a term and this is a term. Is there something I could divide both by? Yes, there is. They're both divisible by 4. So 4 is my GCF. That's what I'm putting next to the parentheses. And 4 is what I'm dividing each term by. 4x squared divided by 4 gives me x squared. 16 divided by 4 gives me 4. Now in this case, I definitely notice it's simple factoring because there's nothing next to x squared, but there is no middle term. So I'm going to pretend to write in a middle term. So if there is nothing there, I'm going to put a 0 there. And again, following the simple factoring rules, we're dragging down the GCF. We're putting a parenthesis, 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 x, x, and we need factors of negative 4 that give me 0. Well, factors of negative 4 that give me 0 are 2 and negative 2. 2 times negative 2 gives me negative 4. 2 minus 2 gives me 0. Later on in the course, we're going to learn that this is a special problem called difference of squares. There's an easier way to remember this.